Welcome back to the Gun Collective podcast. My name is John Patton, and I have another fantastic guest this week. That's right. You are fantastic. You are a fantastic human. For the first time ever, we have somebody actually in the studio with me, and we're going to get to who he is in just a second. But first, I got to talk about sponsors because that's important to keep all these expensive-ass lights on.
Everywhere.
Yeah, they are. We've got lots of lights. So first is going to be a company called Camerado. It's Camorado. And I am actually, if you're watching the video, I am wearing some Camerado. This was developed and designed by my good friend Sean Heron. This is one of my favorite pieces of gear out there. I've got a couple different colors of the stuff. And I can't remember what this is meant to be, like a Rhodesian throwback kind of thing. And I really like it. He's got a bunch of different colors if you're into that. Some that are a little bit more, shall we call them fantastical, bright colors, and actually useful. He calls it EDC camo. If you go to Camerado, CAMORADO.com/TGC, you'll get yourself a little bit of a discount, and it gives us a little bit of a kickback. So that'd be rad if you could support both me and Sean. And we also have XS Sights as one of the sponsors. Now, XS makes some of my favorite iron sights for pistols out there, and they also do stuff for shotguns and rifles. We've been testing them on a whole bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah, and waiting for the ones to come back for those next guns.
Yeah, they just came out with the ones for the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0, and I am waiting on those to come back from those guys. They're, cool as hell, so they put them on for me. And we're going to run them in the Bodyguard review video. And I know a lot of people really like that gun. I really like that gun so far. And yeah, if you use the code TGC, you get 20% off at xssights.com. That's a freaking good discount.
Yeah.
That's really good, especially when iron sights are out there and they're all kind of about the same price. So if you find some discerning features that you like from XS and you get a discount and it supports us, hell yeah, do that. Okay, so our guest tonight is Ben. Now, Ben is one of the longest, I'll call him a recurring character on TGC. Ben has been one of the guys in my life when it comes to shooting. I mean, do you remember when we first met? Do you remember how long ago it was?
2014, I think it was.
2014. So this was pre-TGC.
Yep.
At an event, at a sort of media shooting event at VIR.
Yep, VIR.
For the company that you still work for. Ben has been in the industry for how long?
May will be 12 years.
12 years in the gun industry. And so for context, Ben is in the review videos that we've done over the years and has taught me an absolute shitload about precision shooting, just shooting in general, but also, more importantly, how to fix guns that break, because we have absolutely broken goddamn everything. we have seen so many broken ass guns.
I mean, there was a point there that we had more broken guns than we had guns that were working.
Yeah. It got really, really frustrating. It got really frustrating. So you've been in the industry 12 years. What is your current, what do you do right now in the industry? Because I know we're not necessarily going to talk about where you work.
Pretty much just building guns.
Building guns.
Some R&D work.
So not building guns for me.
No, not
because I want to make that clear. He has helped me put together some of the best rifles that are sitting behind us. But you assemble guns and do some R&D work for a pretty big company in the industry.
Yeah,
we'll say that.
Yeah.
Do you like your job?
I do. I don't think there's anything else I'd rather be doing.
Yeah, right.
I play with guns all day, so.
What do you think is the best part about building guns for a living? Because I know we get a lot of questions about that. Like, how do I get started? Like, what do you think is the best part right now?
Best part is when you get feedback from guys that buy the guns, and they're like, "Oh man, this is the best thing that I have." Or sometimes you get emails from guys that are like, "Oh, look at my groups," and
so they'll send you results, I guess.
Yep.
Wow. And I think we have seen, thankfully, what not to do through many different manufacturers. Are there any guns? By the way, guys, if you have questions for, mostly Ben, but myself or Ben, slam them in the comments, because this is, we're doing this live right now, and I would love to have a two-way conversation with you, because I think that would be fun to take some questions. So we have seen the gamut of absolute dog shit to really nice rifles and pistols. We've shot quite a bit of stuff. Are there any that stand out to you in terms of guns that shit the bed on the range?
Yeah, what's that pistol that you threw on the ground?
That was the Bear Creek Arsenal Genesis 2, I think it was, the metal Glock thing they tried to do. So what stood out to you about that one? The fact that I yeeted it into the stones?
And remember the pins were walking out?
The pins that gun was falling apart.
We had to push the pins back in so the trigger would reset.
It was such
I don't even know
if
that made it on the video. Did that even make it on the video?
I don't remember. No. I don't remember. So for context for those listening, we reviewed the Bear Creek Arsenal Genesis 2.0, and before the video went live, the gun had been pulled off the website because it was so bad. And then now they have some other bullshit they're slinging that's a polymer frame. I think.
Wasn't it the same day?
Was it the same day?
Yeah, because we were
when we were on the way to the range and they pulled it.
Yep.
It's like, oh, let's go find info on their website. It's gone. Yep. Great. Fantastic. So that stood out to you because it was absolute garbage. What else?
Just some other ARs. What was the one? Was it a 450 or
the 458 SOCOM?
No, it was. I don't remember what it was. We've done so much stuff.
You might be thinking of the 500 Automax. That was a pile of shit.
That's it.
I really wanted that gun. That was from Bighorn Armory. I wanted that to work so badly. And for whatever reason, what I was told I was going to get in terms of a rifle is not what we got. We got basically a prototype with the wrong springs. And
what was that? What was the other one?
That thing sucked.
That 270 that we wanted to run. Remember, it was a 270 semi-auto.
That was a Bear Creek.
Okay.
And that gun went back before we even really messed with it. We do have some questions. Shout out to Clover Tack. You guys should go check out his podcast because that's a legit one that you actually might enjoy. What's that question? I can't read it. Hardest gun Ben has ever tried to work on. What's the worst gun?
That's funny, actually.
Was it where you like, oh, I was working on a pile of shit today?
No. So they're usually the Rugers, the old Rugers.
What, like a model or
the 22s, where you can't put them back together. You have to send them back to the factory.
Oh, so the Mark III and Mark II and whatever else.
Yep, has that piece that comes down and you can't get it back together.
The dingus.
Yep.
That's the hardest of all of them. That 22 pistol.
Yep.
Wow. And this is a man that works on these for a living. So anyone that says that these are easy is probably wrong.
Most stuff you can get away with. Putting back together, but that's one of the hardest.
You just hate it.
Yeah, and what's that little pistol that you had that we tried to get the muzzle device off of so we could put
that was a Smith & Wesson model 61, I think. It is a tiny little 22, and we couldn't get the muzzle thing off to put a can on it. Yeah, that's just gonna sit forever.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you soak it. You might be able to soak that.
I don't know. I'm not that worried about it right now. There's so many other projects laying around. Yeah. So are there any guns that stand out to you in terms of like what was really good that like you really are excited about still?
That we shot?
Yeah, like resonated with you.
The 6mm were good. The
Daniel Defense. So the DD, what is it? The Delta 5 Pro and the Aero Solus. Yep. Both of those you liked.
They shot real good.
They really did.
Yeah. I'm really impressed with that 6mm Creedmoor.
We haven't had a bad one yet. No. The barreled action we got from Howa was also very good.
That was good.
Put that in an MDT chassis years ago.
That was probably one of the first ones that we ever saw in Creedmoor. In 6mm.
In 6 Creedmoor, yeah. And that action, that barreled action was used when we got it. They were like, this is our test action.
Because I think that was the same time that I built that 22 Creedmoor. I think that was 2014.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. When Josh spun that barrel up for me.
Oh, yeah. We got another question from Keith Decker, and it says, easiest gun versus hardest gun to build. So in terms of like putting together one, what is the easiest? And why is it an AR-15?
Yeah, I mean
that's your prime. That's your wheelhouse.
Yeah, AR-15 is probably the easiest one. It's like Legos. Pretty
Yeah,
much
I
like
mean,
Legos.
could you do it in your sleep at this point? You've done
Probably
thousands upon thousands of
probably.
them.
Probably. Yeah, I don't think would have any problem blindfolded.
Right. So knowing that, that's probably the easiest one for you. What is the most difficult?
Hardest, from the ground up, I
Yeah.
would say a 1911, 9mm 1911.
Why?
Just all the hand fitting you have to do, especially a 9mm with the ramp and everything.
So why is a 9mm different than a 45 in that way?
Because the ramp, the barrel ramp,
like the feed ramp for the ammo, is it just sharper?
It's just a totally different thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you look at a 45, it's like a nice little ramp.
Uh-huh.
If you look at a 9mm, because you have to take up that space, it's
so it's like a much larger and different shape.
Yeah.
And that requires a lot of polishing and all that.
And especially if you wanted to get it to run 100%.
So do you think that the rise in 9mm 1911s and 2011s will make that easier? Like, have we figured it out now as an industry, or is it still
I think
challenging?
I think there are some companies that are doing CNC guns now that you can buy them from them and just fit them yourself.
Okay.
And there's a way you can do that, but if you want to do a total ground up one, that's cutting the rails and cutting the frame and fitting with your hand fitting everything.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I have some of the files and stuff, but I don't think I'm interested in doing any hand fitting.
No,
it's a game of patience.
It is. And that's why you pay so much for a custom fitted gun.
Good one.
A good custom fitted gun, yeah.
So what do you think then, if we're talking about 1911s as an example, there is a huge price disparity between the entry level and the full custom. I mean, I talked to a guy at a company called Kings River Custom, and their guns are 5-digit price tags in a lot of cases, and they're all hand fit. They're very, very, very nice. What's the difference between an $800 1911 and one of those?
The fit and finish. You get a cheap one, and you can hear it rattle, and you can shake it, and you know exactly.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about,
and everybody pretty much knows what you do. Like,
yeah. What is that? The official sound of cheap guns?
Yeah. And then you get like a bull or even staccato, and it's not like it's tight. It's tight.
What's fascinating to me is the bull 45 that's back here, or maybe that's a 9. I can't remember what that is. I think it might be
one.
Yeah.
That
gun feels like a more expensive gun than what it is, and it's like a sub $1,000 MSRP,
and it's feels like it's on ball bearings.
Yeah, it's shocking, kind of shocking. Yeah, those Bull Armory has done.
I'd like to see how they fit and finish their guns.
We had talked about maybe going overseas to visit them just to see how they do things, but I don't want to go over there right now. I almost made him spit out his drink. Yeah. Okay, let's take some more questions. I think this is fun. Thirsty Golfer, forgive me, I don't have glasses on. Recommendations for information for a newbie building a rifle for the first time. Where would you go for info? Because YouTube has shut all that shit down. You can't have that anymore.
I mean, there's books. You can find books on Amazon. There's I have a couple AR books that were from years ago that shows you how to do some tuning on them and everything. I mean,
I used to teach a class on how to build an AR. I'm not a pro. I'm not going to pretend I'm on Ben's level, but I have a basic understanding of how to assemble it. And that stuff is probably still out there. You know what? I would bet there's probably some on Rumble because
maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe if there's a big enough demand, or if we get enough members over on Rumble, we'll get a bunch of people to.
Yeah. As of right now, I don't actually know a place that has a full tutorial on
how to do
AR,
it. I think that would be fun. It's just a lot of work to put together.
Yeah, the video.
Yeah, the content is a lot. Okay. Clover said spot on about the difference in fit and finish. What are you looking
Battle
at?
Wagon.
Oh, Keith Decker said quick update on the Battle Wagon. It is currently in New Hampshire, getting the interior finished, getting the security system put on. A thermal camera is getting mounted to the roof rack as of today. Auxiliary shocks are going on the front end. Made some adjustments to the rear suspension
which it definitely needed.
Well, the reservoir shocks are being moved to the outside of the frame now.
Okay.
which is kind of cool. John from Backroad Innovation is doing that. There's a lot of custom stuff, like way more custom stuff going into that build than I ever anticipated. I did have to shift away from the place it was getting built at because they kind of didn't want to work on it, I guess. I don't know. That's I'll cover that on that channel, the Battle Wagon channel, but I appreciate you giving a shit about that. It's a lot of fun and I'm super excited to get it done. It's just taking a lot longer than I wanted.
I can't wait. I can't wait for it to be done. So
Oh,
we can go
bro.
hunting with it.
Bro. Yeah, we're going to if we can go to a place where it's legal, we'll go down south and we'll hunt pigs off the roof of that thing.
Something.
That'd be so much fun. Because you're 11 feet off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine?
And you have thermals on it. So we can have the screen up there.
We could get that this thing.
The Archery.
We've got a thermal camera sitting over here that has 360 view. You can control it with your phone as a visible laser. Oh my god, we were playing with that. We went coyote hunting. He set me up a coyote gun, and we put that on the roof of Richard's truck.
Yep, Richard's truck, and we're driving around with it on.
Driving down the highway.
Allegedly
down the highway. Oh, it's so freaking cool. Okay, let's see. Will the 9mm 1911 win World War III and show itself as superior to the 45?
That's a good question. Who knows?
Will it?
Who knows?
You think it'll be the 1911?
I think I'd still take a 45.
You fud. You fucking
I still have
fud.
one. How many do you have? Come on.
45s?
Yeah, how many 45s do you have?
Like 3,
Okay.
maybe?
That's
Out of
two,
all that?
That's 2 more than me.
That's fair. I mean, but essentially this is like your cousin collection over here. If you wanted any of this, with the exception of like 3 of them, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Okay, talking to Ben and his crew. That's Ben from Bull Armory. Yeah. At GunCon, they hand fit the SAS TAC and EDC line and doing more fitting with the competition models. I'm gonna try to see if we could get one of their full-on competition guns.
I want to shoot one so bad.
Like the Ballistados.
The open gun, yeah, I want to shoot one.
Yeah, one of those crazy things. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Brownells has a lot of videos on assembly. Yep. That's good to know. I didn't know that. Favorite brand of tools for gunsmithing? Do you have a favorite? Whoever's giving you the coolest shit.
Yeah.
Your bag. So Ben pulls out every time we go to the range. Ben pulls out this nut sack. It's his camo nut sack.
Yeah.
And it's just a menagerie of stuff he's collected, and he knows exactly like which one will fit in. Like,
yeah, because if you don't, the thing weighs like 10 pounds.
The level of I can't say anything that's not hyper offensive. But yeah, Ben has that nutsack. Like, do you have a brand that stands out to you? I know 2 that you like.
Yeah, what's that big kit that you have?
The foldy kit that we take to the range.
Yeah.
That's Fix-It Sticks.
Fix-It Sticks, that's it. Yep.
Yeah, we have the full. It's like a $700 kit, but we have a full kit from Fix-It Sticks that goes in the range kit, and we have fixed many optics and pistols. And
if you can't do it with that kit, then
that kit has a magnetic mag block, and what else is in there?
Punches.
Little hammer.
An
attempt at a hammer.
Yeah.
But because that's really expensive, I should also recommend the Wheeler stuff.
Yep, Wheeler.
And we have a link to Wheeler. I don't know where the link is anymore, but there's a link. And if you email me, I'll send it to you, where you get automatically 20% off anything on Wheeler's website.
Yeah, the only thing I use high-end stuff is torque wrenches.
Like what kind of?
So like a snap-on torque wrench.
So like a legit auto mechanic style.
Yeah.
Why that? Because they're more precise?
Yeah. Yeah. With the torque stuff, like especially barrel nuts and handguard screws and stuff like that, I like to be a little more precise with that.
You don't want to be loosey-goosey?
No.
I thought that's how accuracy happened. That's what they do with AKs.
Just tighten it down.
All right, let's see if we got any more questions here. A lot of people talking about, if he doesn't say Wheeler, I gotcha. I can confirm. Bill said I can confirm that the camo nutsack exists.
We've used that.
Fix-It Sticks is great. what's that last one say? Started with Real Avid, or Build a Toolkit. I mean, that's kind of what ends up happening. I think Real Avid has done a lot. Have you seen some of their latest stuff?
No.
They've got this thing that looks like a fucking set of tentacles that comes off a vise.
Okay.
So it's like one's a magnifying, it's like a bendy sort of arm, and one's a magnifying glass, one's a light, one's like a parts holder thing.
Kind of like a third hand for
yeah. But like there's a whole set that goes with their vices. And I was like, oh, that's really smart. And one's like a phone mount. So you could have the instructions up on YouTube, because we inevitably will be doing that or watching something.
Yep.
I think that's great. Honestly, I love that the industry is servicing like guys like us or home built kind of gun guys. I love that.
Because you used to not have like a build kit. Like you just have to go out and get your own punches. And
dude, my vice came from like a Hobo Freight or something.
Or Lowe's or
something. I don't remember where I got it, but like that was not that long ago, and now you can get legit vices easily.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite vice? And I don't mean alcohol. I like booze.
Anyone that clamps real tight doesn't break.
Do you think the jaws are necessary, like soft jaws? Do you think they're necessary?
Yeah. Either actually, I have like 3 different sets. I have a set for like rubber ones.
Okay.
And I have a set that has like there are 2 pieces and it has a hole in the center, so you can clamp a barrel in.
Oh, so you can take the action off?
Yeah, and then I also have a pair of wood ones that I made.
Wood? What do you use the wood one for?
If you need to
put a small child's hand in there and smash it?
Yeah,
I use it at the woodshed.
I use it to take gas tubes out of gas blocks if I need to take them out.
What reason would you need to do that?
Just to clean them or change them.
Wait, you've cleaned a gas tube?
Gas block.
Oh.
Like adjustable gas block.
Oh, I see, an adjustable. I'm like, what in the world?
Take the gas tube out.
Just put it on a machine gun, clean it right out.
Okay.
It's fine. Ugh. All right. Let's see. People going back and forth. I like that you guys are talking in the comments. So you also have a lot of experience as, like, I called you in one of the pieces of thing. I think the thing I put up today, I said that you were a professional shooter. And that is a huge component of what you do for a living, both in test firing and you help me an absolute boatload, but you're also into it on your own. Like, let's talk about your history of competition shooting, because you've kind of done everything, right?
That goes back, actually. We talked about this, last week when we were at the range, that it started like 2007 is the first actual long range match I shot, and it wasn't even called PRS yet. So
you were shooting like a bolt action style.
Yep. Where it was all like unknown distances, and you had 2-minute stages where you had to judge everything.
And you said this was in 2007.
Yeah, 2007. Yep.
Wow.
Like that's how PRS kind of started on the East Coast, where it was all unknown distance stuff and you had to mill it.
That's like the hard stuff.
Yeah, it was more like I think I'm not into it much now, but I think the NRL Hunter stuff
is it like that?
Yeah, I think you can use rangefinders in that. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't shot any of that. But
okay, so you started there.
Yep. Did that for a couple of years, then went to 3-gun, shot a bunch of 3-gun for probably 5 or 6 years.
What guns were you using for 3-gun?
I was shooting an XD for my pistol, and then I was using just a home built AR that I built, and then whatever shotgun I could get my hands on.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't even remember what it was. That was so long ago.
Were you ever a gear whore? Like somebody that's like really cared about that stuff?
Not really. It was just if the stuff worked.
Sure.
So the thing about 3-gun in the beginning was, your stuff had to work. Like if you didn't finish the match, it
didn't matter.
Yeah, you're wasting your day and your time and the money on ammo, and so your gear had to work.
Okay.
So it was just pretty much what guns you can get together and ran 100%.
Okay, I have a tangent we can go on there, but I want to hear about the. So you got into 3-gun.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Like, because I mean, it sounds like I know a good chunk of your shooting history, and it sounds like you've shot effing everything.
Yeah, and then after that, I shot USPSA for a while, limited, and also revolver class. Shot a little bit of open class. That was about it for USPSA, and then just got into heavily, like probably 2011, 2012 was when I got big into PRS stuff.
Okay.
And like long range competitions and and in that same time frame from 2007 on or so, we were teaching classes and long range classes and stuff like that.
Who is we?
Me and two other guys.
Okay.
We were doing some long range classes, and that was out in Reed Range out near Altoona. I don't even know.
The middle of effing nowhere.
Yeah. That was a 1,000-yard range that we were doing.
Is that range still around?
Yeah, I think they made it like real nice now. Like,
really?
I think they run NRA high power there now,
and
it's like part of the big part of the series now, I guess.
So we, around the time that you and I met was when you were still dabbling in PRS style events.
Yeah, and shooting some NRA high power too, some positional stuff.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff.
So when did the rimfire stuff come into play? Because I know we have done a lot of 22 stuff, and you show like a personal interest in that.
Yeah, so that's funny. That actually started back in 2010, 2011, when we built the gun shop that I used to work at. We built a 1022 and put like a 60 MOA rail on it, so we could shoot to 300 yards with it just to see if it would work.
A 60 MOA?
It was like that giant high in the back, and just to see if we could do it, and it worked. Like, the problem we were having is the trees that were overhanging at 300 yards. It would hit the tree,
so you'd arc it through the tree. Yeah. I mean, I've seen you shoot 22s out to like 400, 500.
Well, we were making like, remember at New Holland we were shooting my Voodoo, and we were shooting like 4 out of 10 at 600 yards. Remember that?
Yes, I do. I do.
But out to 500, we could hit man-sized targets.
Trying to hear a 22 at that range is kind of hilarious.
Yeah,
because you can't. Do we do more questions? Okay. Live Fire Media says, "Come to the Great American Outdoor Show." I know who that is.
Yep.
That's our friend Dave, and I won't spoil who he works for. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But Dave is at that show working.
Okay. I was actually there this morning.
Yeah, Ben was there.
So,
yeah, Dave's a great guy. I plan to be there on Saturday.
Okay.
I don't. This is live, so if anybody wants to come visit on Saturday, I'll probably be out there.
If the weather's not too bad,
I'll be there.
Okay.
Just send it in the Avalon, sideways down 283. Beep 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 beep.
The traffic was nuts this morning. Like, when
it is really always nuts down there. I don't know why they whatever. It's that's a whole nother thing. So the tangent I was thinking of is, do you think competition shooting has gotten better or worse since the gear has gotten significantly better?
I think the actual how good everybody has went way up.
Really?
Yeah. I think the guns are more accurate, and people 20 years ago, or I mean even 15 years ago, I think the whole industry as a whole has gotten better.
Yeah. If any of you guys out there watching have questions, by the way, feel free to put them in the comments, because this is not just a me and Ben talking session. I want to make sure that we answer some of your questions, and I know a lot of you guys may have some. And like we covered earlier, Ben's been in the industry for a very long time. He's a pro shooter, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, we'd love to hear some of your questions. One of the things I think is really interesting that I got a lot of kickback on is and you helped me sort of develop this mindset that when I came out and said, I expect guns to be, I backed off on it actually to 1.5 MOA or better. People were like, well, ARs don't do that. They're battle rifles and all that. What's your thoughts on accuracy capabilities of the industry? Because people said it's not possible.
So I actually think we talked about this we talk about this all the time. What do we think we should do? And what, I think average for the industry should be about 1 MOA. But I think for precision type stuff, I think it should be closer to half. So 3/4, 5/8.
Okay.
Yeah. And we've talked about that already.
I just think it's important for people to hear that it's not just like I'm just making this shit up.
Mhm. But I think if it's labeled as a precision or it's,
I mean, prime example is that Sig Cross PRS. That's a minute gun, and it's $2,500.
and it's 25 pounds.
So yeah, it's super heavy, and it's okay at best.
And who knows if that's, I mean, that was one of the first ones, right? Like that was a long time ago.
You're saying one of the first ones of that gun?
Yeah.
Not really.
Not
The
really?
Cross had been out for a couple years at that point, but it was one of the earlier PRS versions. But I don't know. I personally think that the excuse of, you know, one MOA or better is nonsense. I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. I almost died just then. It almost happened. Did you see me?
So I think that the whole, if it says precision, like say if you're buying something for precision and the price is for precision, it should be under an MOA. It should be around 3/4
with factory ammo.
With factory ammo.
Because one of the things we found was that some of these guns will shoot okay, and then you hand load and you can really dial.
Yeah.
You know, you can really get it dialed in. And a prime example of that is what is the prime example of
We're
that?
gonna start talking about this now?
Yes, we have to.
Well, I got about 500 rounds, so we can talk about it. And how much ammo do you have?
I have shitloads of 224 Valkyrie.
224 Valkyrie, the bane of my existence.
So we went through at least 6 barrels,
6 months,
tons and tons of effort trying to get it to work, tons. And Ben comes to me, I don't know, a few, I don't know, like maybe 6 months ago, maybe a little longer.
I think it was longer.
He goes, I got it to shoot. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking? What's shooting now? What is it? And he goes, 224 Valkyrie. What the fuck?
And
just now. And this
you're
is
like, what?
years later.
You're like, what?
Years later. So what did you have to do to get it to work?
Just find the right bullet that it would actually work. So ended up going with an 80 grainer.
And what barrel is on your rifle?
So it's over there. I think it's an Excalibur. I think it's in a box over there.
I'm not going to get up and go look.
I think it's an Excalibur.
Okay, so it's one of the many barrels we messed with.
Yeah.
So you got it to work with the 80 grain. Were they burgers?
No, Hornady.
Hornady.
Yeah.
Is it an AMAX?
No, it was a ELDM.
ELDM?
Yeah, 80 grainer or something like that. It was somewhere in there. Dude, that was like 6 months ago. I'm like supposed to remember this now?
Yes. Yes. Have the same kind of autism that I have.
If I had my book with me, I could tell you what it is, but I don't have my reloaded.
Oh, yeah. The Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just wild how that cartridge and several others have just been so outlandish. I mean, that one was one of the most egregious when it came to claims. They were saying this is 1,000-yard cartridge. It's 1,000 yards. That was the thing they were saying. And it was just never true. And it's still not true.
Yeah, I don't have.
That's not 1,000-yard gun.
I don't have a load that'll stay
supersonic.
Consistent at 1,000.
Yeah, it goes transonic before that, right?
Yeah.
Which means destabilizing projectiles.
I mean, so much so that I was pushing them to bolt gun loads and blowing primers, and it's just wouldn't do it.
So we have a question from CloverTac here.
You're all the way up here yet.
I'll get back to that. We'll start here. From CloverTac, the most quote unquote precision cartridge Ben has ever shot. So out of all the stuff that you've shot, what is the most precise that you've shot?
And well, how about we say the easiest to make precise?
Sure.
6mm Creedmoor.
Really?
Yep.
Out of all, like 6GT and all that, because I know you shot all that.
I like the Creedmoor.
Wow.
So, I mean, we took those guns out of the box and shot 0.2s, 0.3s. Right?
They were shooting pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the groups were. There's a whole video series that nobody watched on that. We put so much effort into that. Nobody gave a shit. Probably because I did a bad job on the thumbnails and whatnot. But maybe we'll revisit that or something. I don't know. I'm sure a new bolt gun will come out in 6.
Yeah, I mean, and
well, now we've got to play with the 7. What is it called, Ben? The 7 Overlander. That's what we have dubbed the backcountry, the 7 backcountry from Federal. And that cartridge is also making some interesting claims because they're saying, what is it, 100 feet per second or 200 feet per second faster out of a shorter barrel? That's like the whole gimmick is that it's a short barrel cartridge because they're using
that special
case.
case.
It's not brass, so you can't call it brass, but it's like an alloy.
Yeah,
what
haven't
was
even
it?
seen one in my hand. I haven't even had one in my hand yet.
So I said I showed Ben, because we go back and forth with, have you seen this? Have you seen this? That sort of shit. And the first thing you said was what? What's the problem that you foresee with that cartridge or with that technology in like a 223?
Because you're gonna put that 223 in something and it's gonna blow the barrel up.
You're gonna why? This is the interesting part.
So you need more pressure to go faster.
Right.
And I haven't seen anything on what the actual pressure is yet.
Right. We haven't seen any data on this, and the biggest concern was chamber pressure.
Yeah. And I haven't gone down that rabbit hole enough yet. So there could be out there, but I haven't seen.
I don't know.
But I'm more interested in 6 arc right now.
6 arc.
Yeah.
Why?
Just that 6mm bullet. So I actually started shooting my PRS career with a 243. That's what I shot.
Okay,
yep.
Which is a 6mm bullet.
Yep. 243 bolt gun. That's what I started my PRS career with.
We had a 243 semi-auto back here that we couldn't get to shoot well.
Nope.
That was a disappointment.
Yeah.
6 arc. So what are you hoping to see out of 6 arc?
I don't know. We'll see.
Do you want it to be 1,000-yard gun? Like what are your expectations?
I'd like it to be. That recoil will be real nice.
Yeah.
I've shot one so far and it was good. It was pretty good. So,
but there is an issue that you pointed out to me that is a bit of concern.
That bolt face.
Okay, what happens?
It just cracks.
So where is it cracking? So I want people to try and understand, because there'll be people that watch and then also people that listen.
So it cracks right by where the extractor is on the bolt.
Okay.
Like the next lug over, it'll actually crack the face where the actual lug is.
So this is like the wall that goes around, or it's the actual
the wall that goes around, because it's so thin. It's like,
so in order to get this into a standard AR-15, they had to make that wall thickness around the case head very, very thin.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Where was another question here? Keith Decker said, your thoughts about Matt from Demo Ranch calling it quit for videos. Did you know about this?
Like I told you before, I don't watch much.
Yeah, you don't give a shit. I don't watch any gun videos. Do you care at all that he's quitting? I mean, that's a different part of your life. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't even know. Don't even know if I've ever watched a video.
There you go. Okay, so Ben doesn't give a shit. For me, I think good for Matt. That's what I think. I think really good for him, man. He's built a substantial empire and created enough income to be able to retire at a young age. He's in his 40s, I think.
Is he's just going to do what he wants to do now?
Yeah, that's what he wants to spend time with his family. His kids are getting older.
Yeah, good for him then.
I mean, he literally multiple channels that are all multi-million things, and then a big old merch company, and Lord knows what else he's got his hands in. Hell yeah, right? Hell yeah. I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see who tries to fill his space, fill that gap in the creator space, if it's possible. Clovertack said he had some shitty experiences with Valkyrie as well. Any experience with the 8.6 Blackout?
Shot a couple rounds out of it. I haven't shot anything like not in a snail trap with it, so I couldn't tell you.
So nothing really.
No.
Do you have any thoughts on 338 arc?
I haven't shot that either.
And we have seen one. So I think it's supposed to be an 8.6 Blackout competitor, but in an AR-15, which is kind of interesting. Again, I feel like we're coming out with new cartridges just to come out with new cartridges. Like, what's that for? That's kind of my question.
I don't know.
We cover all this stuff, but
are you getting one? Are you gonna get
what, a 338?
Yeah.
I don't have any plans to get one. I mean, I would like to mess with it, but I'm not in a hurry. Because as far as I know right now, good luck finding ammo. It's the same thing. Blackout, 8.6 Blackout, good luck. And when you do find it, it's multi-dollar per shot. Which is not fun.
What is just Gorilla that's selling that stuff?
It was, but I know there's another company, and I can't think of their name right now, that also makes some really good ammo for it. But when it's $5 and $6 a shot, and And I'm not saying it all is. I'm sure there's something more affordable than that, but it's kind of hard for me to go to the audience and be like, look at this. It costs a fortune to shoot. Check it out. Like it's hard to convey that in a fun way. I think we have some more questions.
Clover Tack, that 243 was back in like 07, 08 when I first started shooting PRS.
You are a FUD.
So they're,
I mean, you said 45, 1911.
Yep.
You shot an XD and liked it.
Okay. I still have that XD.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool.
It's been back to Springfield.
We're shooting it the other day.
2 times. Yeah, it's been back to Springfield 2 times for new barrels.
Okay. Lost Gen, what is that? Zycon? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Zycon. Okay. This is from somebody over on X. Does John have nightmares about everywhere he goes, nothing has prices on it?
Yes. Yes, he does. Yep.
Oh, tell them.
He'll call me and be like, "Hey, I got this. I'm doing this video and there's no goddamn prices on anything." And I'm like, "Are you sure you looked? What do you think I did?
What's this fucking amateur hour?" Yeah. Yeah, it happens so often.
Yeah.
So I mean, the marketing company that in theory is involved in the marketing, in theory, they send me a press release and the gun is not on the damn website because the press release always comes with one dog shit postage stamp of an image.
So right now, this is how John calls me on the phone.
What you're hearing.
This is what John calls me and says,
"This is real." It's like PTSD.
This is behind the scenes right here.
Yeah. Well, it's not a real image. There's basically no info, which means I got to go to the website to find out more. Oh, shocker. The effing gun's not on the damn website yet because we don't know how to launch a product. And then, of course, if it is on there, why would you put the price?
Well, and then you got a year till it comes out.
Yeah, and then, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Dude, so Magpul and ZevTech. I covered this on the news this week. Magpul and ZevTech are releasing that FDP to folding thing. You know what I'm talking about?
I want to shoot that.
Yeah, me too. I want one so bad. It's cool. I first covered that back in 2022, and it's still not out. Yep. And their website says coming soon. Like, what? Where's the damn gun?
What did they say? Why it took so long?
No,
why it's taking, no. I don't know if you talk to them about it.
I think it's because making a folding gun is hard. Because you have to fold the grip and the trigger. That's not easy. I mean, there was a gun that did that, and the holster for it was dumb. I can't remember what it was called. I don't know. It was a folding Glock, and I was like, "Why the fuck is this? Why does this exist? Why? Why? What are you doing?" Gen X icon. There you go. No, okay. I'm calling you Zycon. Zycon. All right. What other stuff we got here? Technology has made wildcatting easier. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. The whole industry is super weird. Are there any trends that stand out to you that are exciting? I mean, you are arguably more jaded than I am. I mean, which is really hard to do. I'm gonna go blow my nose.
The Arc, if they can get it right. But I've told you before that the Arc's not really a new thing. That was actually I don't know. Whitley did the what was it? The 6mm AR cartridge. Whitley did. That was probably 10 years ago, and it's almost the same thing. It has a little bit different neck angle than the 6mm.
You're a different neck angle. Got him.
But I mean, the hardest part about the Arc is the mags, like getting a mag to work with it.
We had talked recently about the new sort of 6.8 sized magwell. Does that interest you?
It does. It does.
For those larger cartridges.
I wish they would have kept on doing it like as an industry thing a while ago, like when it first came out.
But I think they didn't do it. It's because it was LWRC and nobody wants to follow them.
Yeah, I don't know, but I wish somebody else would have ran with it at least.
Yeah, I think it's a neat idea. It creates confusion because when you go to put a regular size magazine into that, thinking it's because visually it's not that different. So they're like maybe that's one of the issues. I don't know. There's probably also not that big of a call for it, and the industry is very slow. I mean, you know this better than most. Slow to do anything.
Yeah, I mean when we were shooting that 6mm AR, we'd actually take 20 or 10 round steel mags and cut the front of them off.
Wait, what?
So we would take a metal mag and just cut the front off, so the bullet would stick out past the mag.
So it's just like a U of
Yep.
a magazine.
Yep. So that
how do you
you
get the spring to stay in?
you didn't have the spring was staying because the follow was so long.
So you
The
just
front
hope that it stays together and
they stay
doesn't.
together. So what it would do is it would actually stick out past the magazine into the mag well of the AR.
So you got a little bit of extra space by removing that material.
Yep.
That's wild. That is absolutely wild. So you're excited about that sort of stuff. Is there anything like what about the rise of 2011s and that style of double stack 1911s? Because Staccato owns that term.
It was bound to happen sooner or later.
Why do you say that? That's an interesting point of view.
Because it's only been like ramping up for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, you see 2 the first couple of years, and you see 4, and then you see 6, and now there's how many companies making them?
And a lot of them are starting to come out of
Are you squeaking or am I squeaking?
might be upstairs. A lot of them are starting to come out of Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
And our experience with the Turkish double stacks so far, not great.
Well, how many do we have? We only had one.
We only had the one
10
10 mil, and it was absolute hot garbage.
Yeah, we're gonna have to try something.
I believe I'm gonna get one of the. Let me think of what it's called. The DS9 comp from Military Armament Corporation. I think it's the MAC.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the DS9, which is the double stack 9.
Yeah, the new one.
And they came out with the comp version, and I was like, hey, I would like to mess with that.
Because they had the duty.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was a DS9 duty or something like that.
You're a duty.
I think it's 4.25 inches or something
You're
like that.
Fucking duty.
One mag for the pistol.
Oh my god!
Dude,
It literally happened today.
here we go again.
Today.
Oh man.
What the fuck is there one mag? It's an $1,800 AR pistol. Comes with one magazine.
And it's not even a standard magazine.
It's not like a Glock mag either. I've got a million Glock mags, but it should still come with Glock mags. Like why the F? Is the industry just fine with 1 or 2?
It's not a Glock mag blower though.
You're right. It's a Colt mag lower, I think. But that's irrelevant. The amount of magazines, I should get like 5. With a PCC, I should get like 5 mags. Stop being a bitch about mags. The fuck is that shit?
You need at least 3 for a match.
At least. Why the hell are we shipping guns with 2 mags now? I really want the consumers out there. I want everybody out there listening to join me in fighting back against gun manufacturers and going, this is bullshit. I paid like a whole bunch of money. Put another damn magazine in the box. Put another one in there. Because who just only wants 2?
I agree with you.
It's absolute
100%.
nonsense. Especially when the guns, dude, don't get me fucking started on guns that are like $3,000 and come with 2 mags that are proprietary.
And you still got to tune them.
We didn't have to tune ours. We didn't have to tune the Staccato mags. But like, holy shit.
You used to. You used to have to.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, why the fuck is the gun industry going, you know what? 2 mags, that's fine. It's a $4,000 pistol. You get 2, and they're proprietary. What? It's absolute horseshit. You know what? So here's a funny thing. Bull Armory said to me, the reason they started putting more magazines, so they were doing 3, they're now doing 4 in their high-end stuff because of me bitching at everybody. Because I wasn't complaining to them. I was complaining about the whole thing. And they're like, oh, we're going to put more mags in.
At least somebody's
Hell
listening.
yeah.
At least somebody's listening.
Hell yeah. But like, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful. What other kind of nonsense does the gun industry perpetrate on a regular basis? A2 flash hiders. The fuck is that? Put a comp on there, you cheap fucks. I mean, the A2. You know,
is there vodka in there or anything?
No,
is that just water?
It's just water.
The more
I'm just fired up.
Fired up.
I'm just fired up, dude. This is
like behind the scenes, right?
This is what it's actually like.
Yeah.
They see the jolly version of me, not the smashing stuff on the range version.
Yeah, we don't film that. Like it's cut.
Not every time. Sometimes. Every once in a while I'll go turn the camera on. Turn the camera on. Wham! What is this garbage? What is two separate questions from Matthew Dropko? I believe that's what that says. What is the most common failure point for ARs that you test? That's a great question. And we'll do the second question of that. What's the most common failure point for ARs?
Common failure point that I've seen?
Yeah, like what you shot more than anybody else I know.
Cracked bolts.
Cracked bolts, even on 223.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's more of tuning. Like say if I build a gun that's like on the edge for a 3-gun, like it has an adjustable gas block and a lightweight carrier, guys shoot them and not tuning them for the ammo, and then it just way overgassed, and then
so it'll just crack
just
beating it apart.
It's either the lugs break on it or the actual bolt breaks by where the cam pin is.
Okay. Yep. So that's the most common.
Firing pins.
Firing pins, really?
Firing pins, yeah. Especially
was like the last little bit break off?
Yes. Yep. So say if you're
is it work hardening?
No, what's happening is if you're loading your own ammo or you have hot ammo, that primer starts flowing and it'll catch the tip and snap it off.
So it's like grabbing it almost. Wow.
Yep.
You really got to be shooting some hot ammo to do that, huh?
Not really, because if you use say if you're using a 6.5 in a gas gun, if you're not shooting one with a high pressure bolt with a small firing pin,
with a tiny hole,
it'll do it within 50 rounds.
No shit.
Yep.
So that's why that exists.
Yep.
Okay, we got another question. Have you got to test any of the Sons of Liberty 6 Max rifles and ammo? You actually said something to me about that when it came out. You were pretty excited about that. I don't know that they're actually producing them at scale yet.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about them. It looks good.
I can call Mike and try and get one.
Yeah, but that has the same problem the Arc does. There's no really a good mag for it right now.
Right. So really what we need to do is get a hold of one of those wide
yes.
Call it like a wide body lower. I don't know what to call that.
Yeah, well, it's Surefire's iCar.
The iCar lower. So we'll get an iCar lower if we can.
Well, that's the rifle. I don't know if they're actually going to do a lower yet.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question, by the way. I'm excited about that sort of stuff.
I think the Max takes a regular bolt face, a regular 223 bolt face. I don't think it takes the
what is it, a 223 necked up?
I think the base is 223.
Huh.
And again, I haven't looked much into it, but I think that's what the claim.
I wonder if it's a rebated rim.
It's something, yeah. It's
because what is it? 50 Beowulf is a heavily rebated rim cartridge, and I love 50 Beowulf. The first AR I ever assembled, long before I actually met Ben, was a 50 Beowulf. It's sitting way up out of shot. You guys almost never get to see it, but it's up there. Let's see. We got another 2-part question from Scott Hughes. What happened to 458 SOCOM? What happened to it? Nobody cared? I have one. That particular one I'm never going to shoot again. But
if I have 100 rounds out of a 458, then
I shot a 458 SOCOM machine gun. It was a CMMG, and it was awesome. Don't beat my microphone up. I thought that was fantastic. The thing that appeals to me about 458 SOCOM is the subsonic loads. Like, that's cool. Like big, slow, heavy, dumb bullets. Yeah, I'm in for that. I never dedicated the time to finding one that I was like really, truly excited about. Why did CMMG discontinue the mid-sized BCG for cartridges? Oh, that's right. They had a larger, like a reinforced bolt. I forget what they called it. They had a specific name for that stuff, but it was like designed around using the sort of mid-size heavy cartridges. It was not quite AR-10 size, but it was like thicker.
Okay.
Thicker. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't even realize they got rid of that. I forgot all about it. So unfortunately, I can't tell you why. I would just assume that nobody bought it. You know, that's the big bore cartridges are specialty all to their core. They're specialty. It's so expensive to shoot.
Yeah, I don't even think. Have we ever shot one?
What?
Like a 458? We
shot the Automax.
Okay.
And we shot a Beowulf. I've got that Bear Creek Arsenal Beowulf back here.
I don't even remember.
Junk. That may have been me and Josh.
Okay.
No, I'm pretty sure you shot that and were terrified to shoot it. I'm pretty sure you were like, I have a shot of you in that video
like,
going, oh God, oh God, oh God. I'm pretty sure that's in that video. I think the 6 Mac uses standard
it
AR
does.
mags.
It does, yeah.
It does, but it may benefit from the
I
larger
think
ones.
Yeah, because I think it's right on the edge. Like it just rubs the inside of the magazine. Like the tip just rubs the inside.
So you almost need a little bit more
Yeah.
real estate there.
Especially with the heavy. I think especially with the heavier bolts, like the 107s or the 105s.
I would really like to see more big bore cartridges in the AR-10 platform, like a 50 Beowulf type thing, but longer. I would love to see that. Like 40. There's a 4570 like cartridge. I think Bishop is working on one like that. There's like 375, and there's a couple that are out there. I just haven't had the chance to mess with them, but I love stuff like that. I absolutely love it.
Especially suppressed.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you schwack, I hit that pig in northern PA with a 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum out of, you can't see it, one of these rifles back here, and it wrecked it.
Yeah,
it absolutely wrecked it. So, coming with a little bit more velocity would be freaking great. Right? Do you like big bore? Do you even care about big bore?
When we shoot them.
He just shrugged for anybody listening.
I don't have any big bore stuff.
So we got to get you one.
We got stuff here.
He doesn't care. Let's see.
We got 22 ARC we got to mess with next.
Oh, yeah. We've got a 22 ARC that is directly behind us that we assembled with arrow parts. Ballistic advantage barrel and whatnot. We got to mess with that. We're going to see how it does. Yep. Don't have a ton of ammo for it, but we're going to try it. If you guys out there listening or watching have any questions that you want Ben, the industry expert over here, to answer, or even myself, you can pop those in the comments. I would love to hear from you guys and continue this conversation. We've been going for quite a while. Are there any guns that are currently on deck for us that you're aware of, that you're kind of excited about? I know one we just shot that you really liked.
Yeah, that amazed me. Like, I'm still
don't say what it is.
No, we're still thinking about it. I'm like,
that gun shocked me.
Man, we were shooting the crap out of that thing. I think we ended up like 600 some rounds out of that day.
Yeah, one day. That's a lot. That's a lot
without cleaning it.
Yeah. Anything else that you're like super pumped on?
I don't know the list really.
Okay. There's like a $7,000 pistol that's supposed to be coming. There's a cheap 2011 Glock thing.
Okay.
What else?
You know how I am until I hold them in my hand.
Yeah, you don't care. You don't care. That's why I like Ben. He has never bullshit me. Not once. Always a straight shooter. And I mean that both ways that it's possible. Yeah, I Oh man. I think it's a lot of fun having somebody in the videos that doesn't necessarily give a shit about the sort of YouTube side of it. Like, I think you care because I care.
Well, that's what I told you when we started it. Like when I started like helping you on stuff that I wanted to do it truthfully. I didn't want to have to sugarcoat anything or like.
You said that years ago. Yeah. You were like, if I'm going to help you, we're going to do it the right way.
Yep.
And people have many times over disagreed with us. How do you feel? So one of the things that comes up in the comments pretty regularly is that you and I can't shoot. How do you feel about that?
Some days I can't shoot.
Okay.
This morning I couldn't shoot my bow worth of shit, so.
Yeah, Ben was competing in archery this morning. But what is that? What comes to mind when somebody says you guys can't shoot?
Whatever.
I had somebody in the comments yelling at me about that Taurus that fell apart on the fucking range. Just fell apart. And they're like, oh, it's your fault. Yeah, it's my fault. Oh, yeah, sure, it's my fault. Oh, yeah. My fault the gun fucking fell apart, sure.
And they didn't see the 10 other guns that fell apart on the range and they didn't even do videos on them.
Yeah, that happens a lot too, where we'll get a gun and take it out and it just it's so bad that it's like infuriating, or we can't even begin to test a gun.
Yeah.
And then we're not going to make a video on a gun that we can't shoot.
Like
literally won't feed.
Like pivot pins falling out.
That happens all the time. All the time.
Yep. That happens more than once. That happened more than once. Just the pivot pin just falling out.
What bow? People are asking about your archery stuff. Clover tack ass. What is your bow? What's your setup?
So that's
It's hand hewn
yes,
from
no.
antler. I got nothing.
So I was shooting Matthews this year. I switched over to PSE Supra, and I'm having a little bit of issues with it now. So mostly
when you're having issues with it.
Yeah, it's just a different. Like I'm used to shooting like a 20-year-old bow.
So you have a decent bow now, and it's messing with you.
Yeah, just the way the new cams are and stuff with the new bows. It's just.
You're like, I want a carbureted bow.
Pretty much. I want it, and then I try to go on eBay and get one, and they're just beat the crap. So I'm gonna have to figure something out here because I actually shot the Matthews, the Conquest 4 that I have. I was shooting it up till last year, and the thing just kind of it's gone. It's just shot. Like
what happened to it?
You shoot it, and it sounds like it's gonna blow up.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah. So like the cams are all like the bushings are shot in it, and there's actually like a piece that's in the limb that holds the limb to the bow. That's a plastic piece that's like a shim. That's all broken. So like that bow probably has 1 million shots out of it at least in the 20 years.
A million?
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's had. I had to look at my notes at home. It's probably had 10 different sets of strings on it.
No shit.
Yeah. So,
1 million.
We'll see. So yeah, it's mostly open stuff. So like long stabilizers, long sight. Scope with a lens in it, peep with a lens in it, that kind of stuff. So it's not a hunting setup. It's an actual open competition setup. So,
I think it's cool.
And I've actually been doing that longer than I've been shooting guns. So I started shooting bows in 91.
You old bastard.
Yeah.
You old bastard. Ben doesn't look like it, but he's old as shit. He's actually Nosferatu, the undying man over here. So I said to Ben, I don't know, a few months back, it's like, man, I think I would like to try archery. And the first thing came out of his mouth was, with what time? Like, when are you going to do that? I still want to get a bow. I think it'd be fun as hell to just go out back and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
But I know so little. We went to Lancaster Archery, is not far from us, less than an hour drive from my house. And it's one of the coolest places out there. And I'm like, what's this? What's this? What's this do? What's that all about?
Yeah, and then you looked at the price tags and you're like,
oh boy, oh geez.
Yeah, $1,500 just for a bow.
Yeah. So, and the release that you got to buy that's actually a trigger.
Yep.
Why do you think Geisley doesn't make archery releases? He just rolled his eyes at me. All right, I think it's time to wrap up, Ben.
Yep.
Do we have any more questions? Post a video of all the firearms that fails. We don't even have footage of half of them. Go ahead and read it. I can't see what you're pointing at.
Just the same thing about doing a video about the firearms that failed.
Oh yeah. So look, a video about the guns that fail would be pretty eye-opening. But first of all, we haven't had one in a long time.
No.
We haven't had one that like shit the bed to the point where we couldn't shoot it in a long time. The last one I can recall was a Live Free Armory where no round would feed. And we ended up doing like 3 different videos because they sent a total of 5 guns. And the Glock 19 size metal frame thing, they wouldn't shoot. The longer grip ones, for whatever reason, would. I don't know what happened.
Did you?
This was years ago.
Yeah, I don't think I did. I don't think I did that with you. Did I?
No, that was when Ben was helping. Other Ben.
Okay. All right.
That was a long time ago. Different era of my life, that's for sure. But yeah, I don't have any footage of the ones that just don't fire. Or like we try to feed around, it doesn't work. I can't tell how many times he's like going to put the first round in and it jams. Or like doesn't go fully into battery. Like, what are we doing? Why is this so hard?
And then we just rack it and put it back on the table.
Yeah, we're done here.
Next one.
Next. Yeah, it's a waste. It's very frustrating when it does happen. There was another question. Luis Gutierrez. What do you think about PSA AKs or affordable AKs in general? Do you have an opinion on that?
I don't. That'd be more you.
I think they're okay.
Yeah,
as long as it goes bang. I am not an AK guy.
I'm not an AK guy either.
I have a very nice AK and I have a dog shit AK, and they don't feel that much different. Like the nicer one obviously does feel different, but they don't feel that much different to me.
I can fix them. I've shot a bunch, but I really don't shoot
I
enough AK.
I think they're fun and effective for what they are. But whenever I think of like precision, I'm never going to pick up an AK first. I'm just not. So, and that's part of the, like, I like to shoot very, very accurately, and AKs are usually just okay at best. And I think we could probably, as a country, do better. You know, like, I know there's people that are trying to make AK type guns that are better. Anyway, that's a whole nother diatribe.
Yep.
Do we have any more? Rhetorical question. Why is federal management stupid? They discontinue the 147 plus PHST and a bunch of other stuff. Okay. Okay, so that guy doesn't like federal? I mean, federal has done some dumb shit.
Yeah. I think we made a list.
I like them as a company. I think they make some good stuff.
When you can get it.
Yeah. Like their gold medal match stuff is usually pretty good.
When you can get it.
And what other stuff can't you get? You shot their Prairie Storm ammo. That's federal.
Yeah.
And you fucking knocked some shit out with that, huh?
Yeah. That was actually my first time shooting
a pheasant
with a shotgun, because it was we used to shoot archery with. We used to shoot bows and pheasants. Long bows.
I was thinking you're a FUD and you're just a Native American. Just a native. All right. Well, that's it, guys. Be sure to check out Camarado, CAMORADO.com/TGC. Get yourself a discount over there. Also use that same code TGC over at xssights.com. Get yourself some great pistol sights. We really like them. We're really happy with them. And they've also got stuff for shotguns and rifles. We're going to be showcasing them as the year goes on. But I want to say thank you to everybody that's out there listening, watching, etc. This was a lot of fun. I hope. Did you enjoy yourself?
I did. This is actually my first podcast.
It's your first podcast. Yep. That's adorable. That's adorable. I'm proud of you. It's like a proud papa moment.
And we got to see
you teach me how to shoot precision stuff. I'm pretty sure you've been like, you did good, kid.
Yeah. And then we get to see the behind the scenes of you getting all shitty with stuff. like how our phone calls how our phone calls actually go when you call me.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate everybody out there. I know Ben does as well. We will see y'all very, very soon. Right?
Yep.
Soon? How about now? Soon?